The Mavericks get their second straight win after a dominant first half from Anthony Davis, but we need to figure out the rest. We'll try to figure it out coming up next here on the DLLS Mavs postgame show. Hey, what's up, DLLS Mavs Nation? It's your man, Kevin Gray, alongside Mavericks analyst Bobby Curl and Mr. Fourth and Long himself, Jesse Holly. We are DLLS Mavs, your favorite guys, come your favorite team every single day. Mavericks get the 116-105 win in Anthony Davis's dominant debut. 26 points, 16 rebounds, 7 assists, and 3 blocks in 31 minutes. Unfortunately, though, leaving the game with a minute and a half left in the third quarter with a lower body injury and did not return to the game. But the Mavericks had a team record with 18 blocks in this game. Max Christie's second career 20-point-plus game helps the Mavericks be able to get the win to improve to 28-25 on the season. We'll break it all down coming up here over the next hour. Plus, really appreciate you joining us here on DLLS Sports. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe while you are here as well. We'll be joined by our national NBA insider, Mark Stein, and our Mavericks beat writer, Tim Cato, live from the American Airlines Center in what was a very, very different kind of day for Mavericks fans. The emotions running high from the lukadoncic trade protests at the beginning of the day to the game itself, and the emotions of Anthony Davis's dominant first half to losing him in the fourth quarter, going into the fourth quarter. Just a range of emotions, gentlemen. But at least the Mavericks come up with the dub after getting out and being able to beat the Rockets today.
Good, bad, everything in between.
Yes.
If one game was a microcosm of the season, it would be that one. Although I guess the Mavs did win. Feels like a microcosm of the season would be another annoying loss. But they were able to get it done, and I guess that's ultimately what matters. The All-Star break is a week away. You have to just make it there. It seems impossible. It seems like this will never end. Hit after hit after hit. But we're so close to a full week off. We're so close to guys hopefully being able to get healthy. And you just have to make it there by whatever means necessary.
I think you saw the excitement of what this team could be. I mean, literally AD in the first 4 minutes of this game, I mean, he was, it was just like, this is why I'm here. Now, unfortunately, what happened in the injury, but this team seems like, and you're talking about a team that's most of the time when you can see that break coming ahead, sometimes you lose the effort. Sometimes that effort isn't where you quite want it to be. Guys are tired. Guys are banged up by the end of the season. But you saw a team come out early in this game, and even moments in the second half where they were dedicated to defense. There was a youthful exuberance that they put on the defensive end, from Kyrie to Max to all the guys. And so for me, just hoping that everything works out with AD and it's whatever it is minor. If that is foreshadowing on what this team is going to be going forward, you got a pretty good basketball team on your hands, and a lot of shots were altered in that lane early in that first half because AD was standing in the middle of that lane and people didn't want to come in there.
And PJ was playing the 3.
Yeah.
Like, they were so big and so tall. Like, Şengün didn't want any of that. Rockets had to put Steven Adams at the 5 in the second half and Şengün down to 4, and it worked for a little bit because PJ got hurt. It's like, it's not just AD that got hurt, it's PJ too. Yeah. And that ankle looked, it just is like, I just want to see the Mavs. I just want to see the Mavs play.
Yeah, and
I'm tired of injuries.
Yeah, I mean, everyone is at this point. You mentioned PJ Washington. He left with 4:47 left in the second quarter after turning his right ankle. He did not return for the remainder of the game as well. And to your point, Jesse, I mean, the ferocious nature which the Mavericks collectively defensively were playing in that first quarter set by the tone of Anthony Davis. I mean, in the first 6 minutes alone, Davis had 9 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, blocking shots. I mean, my first quarter of notes, I just got all kinds of things that Anthony Davis was doing, but the overall feeling was this is the guy that you felt like on the defensive end is going to set the tone for everyone, and everyone was feeding off of that energy, and that's the kind of thing you want to see from your defensive leader, and he was able to do that in that first quarter there.
Yeah, and it was great to see. It was great to see that guys were trying to come in that lane and we're sent back. You just hope again that everything works out with Anthony Davis, because you don't want to build that up to that height and all of a sudden be let down with injuries. That has always been the knock when it came to Anthony Davis, is about how can you keep him healthy as possible. And when we look at the lower body injury today, we went back and saw the replay. It was unprovoked, untouched. I thought he got hit in the Johnson & Johnson by somebody,
right?
But it just was one of those things, and
he was only just like turning his hips.
Yeah, I don't know where the initial injury was, whether it was on the side or in the front, but I was excited. We were excited to watch what this new Mavs team looked like. It brought smiles to our faces. We cheered. We sat up in our seats. We smacked fives because right, because it looked. We didn't know what to expect, and they came out and they showed. I mean, early on, this is what you're going to get when this lineup is healthy and this lineup is on the floor, and that's a lineup that I again, when they get healthy, I look forward to watching them play.
I mean, the last few words you just said there, when they get healthy. Yeah. I feel like we have been saying that all season long for this team. The injury bug has just bitten this team all over the place, and unfortunately it got to them again today with P.J. Washington and Anthony Davis. But some other positives from this game. Shout out to Max Christie. Third straight game with the Dallas Mavericks. Strong performance, had 15 points in each of his first two games. Today, 23 points, his second career 20-point-plus game. He knocked down a big shot with about a minute and a half left to give the Mavericks a 9-point lead. For the man who's about to be having a birthday on Monday, he is playing with a lot of poise for a guy that's just 21 years old and playing well for this team. You give him a lot of credit, too, coming off the bench. He's actually started in the second half for the Mavericks as well. But Max Christie, another very strong performance for him.
He's giving the light skins some hope in 2025. He's giving the light skins some hope in 2025. Max Christie said, listen, for all the light skins with the good hair, get on the Max Christie tee right now. Max Christie is giving all the light skins with good hair. Listen, the dark-skinned brother we always been leading for a while. Bobby, you don't quite understand.
I cannot relate to that at all.
You don't quite understand. But the dark-skinned brother, we have been leading the charge for a while. But guys like Max Christie, 2025, he said, hold on now. Hold on. Maxie with the good hair. Maxie with the good hair about to give the light-skinned brothers a little bit of charge of enthusiasm.
You then prompted me to give him a new nickname. That's what I'm going to start calling from now on.
Maxie with the good hair?
No, that's El DeBarge. That's El DeBarge from now on. Shout out to Max Christie. He probably don't even know who that is. But at the same time, if he could sing, if he could play like El DeBarge could sing, then he gonna have a good long career. Daniel Gafford, big today as well. Not necessarily in the points department, but 5 points, 9 rebounds, 6 blocks for Daniel Gafford. We mentioned it during the pregame show. With the addition of Anthony Davis, along with now obviously Daniel Gafford and Derek Lively, the Mavericks have 3 of the top 10 guys in blocks per game on their same team, and Daniel Gafford continues to have his own personal block party and did so again today with some big blocks in this game as well. The Mavericks also had 6 guys in double figures. Mavericks shooting 47% from the field, 52% from the three-point line today for Dallas, holding the Rockets did the Mavericks defense to 40% from the field and just 28% from three. That defense was stifling, especially in the first half. At one point in the second quarter, in fact, the Rockets started the second quarter 0 of 11 from the field. That is how good the Mavericks defense was to start in that second quarter. Alperson Good wound up finishing the game with 30 points. Jalen Green had 24 from the Houston Rockets. But the day started, obviously, with the Lukadoncic trade protest outside of the American Airlines Center. Bobby Carella was out on hand and saw that firsthand himself. But the energy, I thought, was excellent from this crowd today. Anthony Davis was roundly cheered in his introductions today for the Dallas Mavericks. So the Mavericks, the MFFLs inside the AAC, giving Anthony Davis a warm welcome, which we were hoping that would be the case, and they did so today as far as his welcome is concerned. So I thought really good energy from this Mavericks crowd, and they gave them something to continue to cheer about throughout the course of this game.
Yeah, that's the other part, right? Because outside, I don't know how many people that were at the rally or whatever, protest, whatever you want to call it, outside, had tickets to go to the game. I know that there were a lot of people that did, so I don't know if it was like 100% or 50% or whatever, but people are really upset. Obviously, their favorite guy got traded. They feel like they got done dirty, and AD and Max Christie are like human beings that did not choose to make the trade, but they are an extension of Nico's decision making, right? And so there are some people that are like, look, I'm going to boo no matter what. Some people are like, hey, we're going to support our guys no matter what. But the fans made some noise, and then the players went out and made the fans make even more noise. And that's the best scenario that we could have hoped for, just as like an experience of watching the game and it not getting real spooky in there real quick. Of course, PJ and AD getting hurt and then losing a lead and then almost losing the game would have been really awkward, but they win. Everything is fine, right? Everything is fine?
We're still trying to figure that out. But
no updates on Twitter about how fine things are?
Yeah.
Well,
or aren't?
for folks on the scene, for example, from Grant Abseth, who's at the American Airlines Center, Jason Kidd on how Anthony Davis is doing after his injury, quote, I guess all right. We'll see how he feels tomorrow, end quote. So that's from Jason Kidd as of about 5 minutes ago. So not really much of an update from Jason Kidd.
The fact that it was doubtful and not out, I feel like is weird. There was 5 minutes left in the game, but it was doubtful. It wasn't out. So maybe that's a good thing?
The cope is strong.
Am I reaching for? Am I grasping?
The cope is strong.
Am I grasping?
The cope is very strong.
I mean, PJ automatically ruled out.
Yeah, like it was. When we saw the ankle turn, it was like, oh, yeah, probably not coming back for the game.
Out. Almost like 5 minutes later.
Yeah.
Out.
And PJ tried to stick in the game, but after a while, I was like, no. He had to wind up going out of the game. But I wanted to make sure, Jesse, you obviously had talked about, earlier in the week, the reception that Anthony Davis was hopefully going to get. Mm-hmm. And that Mavericks fans, this is not on AD. This is their opportunity to welcome him in. What did you think about the reception that he got?
I loved it.
Yeah.
I loved it. And for ADs, he gave them something to cheer for. Like even in his press conference, he talked about, I'm going to win the city over.
Yes.
One way to win the city over, put up stat lines like that. Win ball games. And surely they will come around to loving you. Maybe never loving you like they love Luka, but loving you, respecting you, cheering for you. And I thought it went hand in hand. I thought the people that were in the building came in the building with the right energy. And then I thought AD, once he was in the building and got in the game, he then reciprocated that energy with some great play. And so the two kind of just came together in this holy matrimony of, if you give me good energy, I'll give you good play and give you something to cheer for, and we'll be good. So I appreciate the fans. And I know that people all week on Twitter and social media, they were like, you made this stuff up. And I'm like, made this stuff up? Like, there was a whole chat that talked about what we were going to do about booing the guys who were in this trade. But the fans were great from jump. Even in the I wanted to get upstairs and watch the thing from the start. And they said, man, when they did the player announcements, fans cheered. And then after Anthony Davis missed the layup and then get his own putback dunk, and he kind of then he didn't. And it was so purposeful because the crowd is going crazy. A putback dunk. Houston had to bang a timeout, and he goes over to the crowd and he says, "I'm here."
Yeah,
I'm here, and the crowd just ate that up. And that part right there was like, okay, everything is good now, at least inside the building when it comes to Anthony Davis, Max Christie, and this trade happening. Again, not saying that they're ever going to love him like Luka.
Sure,
but you saw today that they were like, oh, yeah, we forgot this dude is a top 75 player in the NBA and will do some good things for our team.
That's a good point, though, Jesse. And Rich Paul said that to you, too, yesterday, KJ. You can listen to it. It's in the podcast feed. It's transcribed on our website for free if you want to go check that out as well. KJ talked to Rich yesterday, AD's agent, and Rich said he's not here to replace Luka. No one can do that.
That's right.
Like, nobody can do that. He's just here to be AD.
And
he's
he
here
knows
to be
that.
Anthony Davis.
He knows that.
Yeah. And I think it's one thing to think about Anthony Davis being on the floor. It's another thing to see it. And once you see it, you're like, oh, my God. Oh, my God. And hopefully we get to see it again soon.
Yeah, because that first 5-6 minutes, I mean, literally had me jumping out of my seat because it's like you saw the full repertoire of the Anthony Davis experience in all of 5 minutes. And if that's what the experience is going to be, especially when he's healthy, obviously, it's going to be something spectacular.
It was even the passing, right? Like we talked about the
lob, the gaffer for the dunk.
We talked about what he can do offensively, but like there was one play where he gets the rebound, handles the ball all the way off the floor, gets to the high post, and then just backs a dude down, turn around, layup.
He put Tari Eason
Like
on the block.
literally
and said, you can't
94
stop me.
feet of Anthony Davis. And like that's the part like sometimes that we forget of a type of player that he is. Yes, he can block shots. Yes, he's going to be a force in the middle on defense. Yes, he can score points. But the passing, the ability to go from one end to the floor with the ball and be in complete control of it. Not like it looks awkward. He's like, no, I got it. Let's just go and run this play and then come down the side, post up, go get a bucket. So him being able to pass, to shoot, to defend, he just brings you so much as a player.
Yeah.
You know, it's exciting to see what it's going to be when they're all healthy, all together for a stretch.
Mavericks get the win 116-105 over the Houston Rockets. Let's take our first break here on the DLLS Mavs postgame show. When we come back, we'll get to your super chats. Plus, we talk about the turning point of this game and what was a dominant first half for AD. All that and more coming up next on the DLLS Mavs postgame show. But first, let me talk to you about Game Time. If you want to go to basketball games, football games, concerts, sporting events, you've got to use Game Time to get your tickets. With Game Time picks, it filters out the fluff to show you only the incredible deals on great seats so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets to find the best value. I use Game Time to purchase my tickets to WrestleMania on April 19th and 20th at Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas. I was able to see the all-in prices, so I knew exactly what I was going to pay before I checked out. Also, the panoramic seat view, so I knew exactly where I wanted to sit, and I was able to see it before I purchased my tickets as well. They've got the lowest price guarantee, or Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference. So if you want to take the guesswork out of buying your tickets with Game Time, download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code DLLS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code DLLS for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. Shout out to Game Time.
The weather was pretty nice these last few days. Yeah. Nice little sneak peek of what's on the horizon here in a few weeks whenever we can spend a lot more time outside. Go on walks, go on hikes, go to the lake, float the river, whatever. And anywhere you go, you want to take your Rugged Road cooler with you because they are dedicated to creating innovative and durable outdoor gear for adventurers who demand the best. One of the most unique features of Rugged Road coolers is their ability to always float upright. You never lose a drink. You're in the lake, you're in the river, wherever you are. That thing flips over. You're having a bad time. Your drinks, bottom of the lake. Your sandwiches, bottom of the river. You're not getting those back, but not with a Rugged Road cooler. With their lightweight design, unlike other heavy-duty coolers, these things are actually incredibly light, making them easy to transport them from your car to wherever you're going without compromising on performance. They're perfect for a variety of outdoor activities. So gear up for your next adventure with Rugged Road coolers. Reliable, durable, and built to be used, Rugged Road is your ultimate outdoor companion. Head to ruggedroadoutdoors.com and use promo code DLLS for 10% off.
Appreciate all of you joining us here on the DLLS Mavs post-game show. As I see, nearly 1,000 folks watching us live right now on our post-game show. So shout out to all of you. That means I need nearly 1,000 likes on this video. As far as the DLLS Mavs post-game show is concerned, we got Mr. Fourth and Long.
Like for better injury luck.
That's a good one as well. Before we get to the turning point of today's game, let's get to some of our super chats, Tanner, that we've got lined up in the DLLS Mavs post-game show. Let's start with Mitch Mitchell with the $5 super chat. Shout out to you. He was hanging out with us during the pregame show. I needed this podcast. Great win. Super sad for AD. Love Max. Shout out to Mad Max on a big third game for the Dallas Mavericks. And, yes, the best to AD. Let's go to Martin the Polar Bear with the $2 super chat. Thank God we have our pick of 80s out for a while.
Don't speak that into existence.
Please don't.
Don't do it.
Please do not. But we appreciate the $2.
But it is good.
Thank you.
It is a good thing.
Mitch Mitchell back in again.
Let's go, Mitch.
Spending all the money today. Shout out to you with the $5 super chat. AD is the victim. Pushed to play, injured. This feels like a Netflix miniseries. Thank you.
Hopefully this is only the beginning and not the end.
That's right. Vince with the 5 super chat. That first half was magical. Kind of felt like that game 3 against the Clippers. Man, that was a great day, and then everything else happened. But the Mavericks won.
It was a great hour.
It was a great hour. Which honestly, that helps us get to what is the turning point. We'll get to some of the other super chats here in just a little bit, but that gets us to what was the turning point in this game, and it was the first half. A dominant first half from Anthony Davis, obviously for him coming into today's game with as much as anticipation as any debut that we've seen in quite some time. You look at what he was able to do. Davis had 24 points, 13 rebounds, 5 assists, and 3 blocks in the first half, going 9 of 13 from the field, and we've talked about it a little bit, but just the entire game, the entire repertoire of Anthony Davis knocking down shots from three, putting guys in the block, a defensive deterrent on the other end. Alperen Sengun in the first half wanted no parts of Anthony Davis. He had blocked the shot a couple of times, and Sengun was not trying to drive into the middle of the lane. He was settling for jump shots. But, Bobby, that's kind of the thing with Anthony Davis, not only as a shot blocker, but a deterrent when it comes to guys even getting into the post, and he made a difference, especially on the end of the floor at the beginning of the first half there.
Yeah, and whenever he and Gafford, or eventually, hopefully, he and Lively are on the floor together, it just means that you can have one of them kind of far away from the basket, and if somebody gets beat, you're going to have another guy there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we saw how much that changed in the second half whenever there was only one Gafford. If Gafford is over on the left side and someone gets beat on the right side, it's a layup. It's uncontested. The Rockets were going with two bigs. Gafford was on Adams, but that meant Naji Marshall was on Alperen Sengun.
Mm-hmm.
Spencer Dinwiddie was on him for a possession and fouled immediately. Like, having one big is cool, but you know what's really cool? Having two bigs.
Yeah.
And I mean, they were just eating up so much space on the floor. PJ too. Like, Gafford's over there, you beat AD, and now from out of effing nowhere comes PJ, and he had a couple blocks in the first half before leaving. So, I mean, they were really throwing their size and length around out there. And that's going to be a huge deterrent because great defense, as I told the story a couple times. I asked Mark Cuban, this is almost 10 years ago now, what makes a good defender? And he said it's not so much the shots that you allow. What makes a defender really good is the shots that they don't allow. And AD, if he's around the basket, guys are they're just kind of looking over their shoulder. They're just a little afraid.
No, absolutely. And to add on to that point, you also saw this Maverick team, they got out. They got out in the break, right? They began to run. The offense was clicking because when you play defense on one end and you hold a team to one shot, and I know that was that one series where the Rockets had like 6 offensive rebounds.
Never going to end.
But when you're able to hold an opponent to one shot, especially if that shot's a bad shot, what you now have is you have the advantage heading back down on the offensive end. You get the ball off the rim, and for a guy like AD who can handle the ball, guys like PJ Washington who can handle the ball, that ball gets kicked ahead, and now you see the walk-in three-pointers from excuse me, from Klay Thompson. You see Kyrie be able to get in his bag, and then when you start collapsing, kicking out to Max Christie and kicking out to Naji Marshall, because now we got guys penetrating the lane on these fast breaks, and that's when you're playing at a much faster pace. So if you're willing to commit to the defensive end, what you saw this team do in the first half, you see them get out on the fast break, get easy buckets, get wide open buckets, and now you start doing that at moments of the game, 3, 6, 9, 12, you get those leads, and even when you have those lows, because they went into a low, I think it was at the third quarter, they just couldn't find the basket for a second. But I'm up 12, I'm up 14, I'm up 15, and now it gives me a chance to have a low, have a lead, and still be able to work back in this thing and get my offense back going again to pull out these games. So starting on the defensive end, being able to lock down there, that's going to open up this offense even more because they'll be able to get on the break faster.
And you mentioned it in the first half. I mean, the Mavericks were able to outscore the Rockets 15-4 in the fast break points, 20-8 in the bench point department as well. Guys are flying up and down the floor. The Mavericks had 9 blocks to only 3 turnovers in that first half. So when you're not only playing well defensively, you're protecting the ball, you're able to get out in transition because you're getting the defensive rebounds and able to push. And the Mavericks did a tremendous job of that, especially on the defensive end, and also holding the Rockets to just what was 33% from the field and from 3 in the first half. So to your point, the defense turning in the offense in multiple ways was fantastic for the Mavericks. Klay Thompson had 11 points. Was the only other guy in double figures in the first half with the Anthony Davis big first half that he had. By the way, that double-double that Davis had, his 33rd double-double of the season as he gets his first in a Mavericks uniform. But also, Jesse, you started to mention it as well. In that third quarter, things got off to a real bad start from the Mavericks. In fact, Rockets started that third quarter on what was a 19-4 run to cut the deficit down to 2 at 69-67 with 6.5 minutes left. They were able to close it again within 2 at 73-71, but the Mavericks were able to go on a 9-2 run, stabilized by a couple 3-pointers by Naji Marshall. We talked about him making a couple of threes, especially in transition. Kyrie Irving had an and one in that stretch as well. That got the lead back up to 9 at 82-73 with 3:20 left, kind of settling things down because, as you mentioned, the offense went away early on in that third quarter. But Naji Marshall, I thought Bobby had a really good game as well, stepping up in some key moments for the Mavericks when they needed to here.
Made some shots. The other night he said, I always bounce back or I'm always good for it or whatever. Had a disastrous final minute in that loss against Philly a few days ago, and then came back against Boston. Was really good. And tonight in the second half made a couple jumpers, and that was much needed, which is important because, you have Kyrie, Dinwiddie, and Exum, Kyrie obviously is on another level than everybody else, but those three guys are really like professional shot creators for, I guess Kyrie and Dinwiddie for themselves. Dante is a good facilitator, but those three can't for 48 minutes consistently create good, easy shots for everybody. It's got to be a team effort, and that's why having guys like Naji, Christie, PJ to a degree that can put the ball on the floor, make simple plays against simple coverage. You're not having to break a whole defense down. There was just a lot more. It really felt like there was a lot more drive, kick, swing, swing. There was a lot more connectivity, a lot more like 7-8 pass possessions. And that's not just a Luka thing. That's a Spencer Dinwiddie thing too. I mean, he can pound the air out of the ball a little bit, but it really felt like they were making a point to move the ball. Move, dribble, pass, make quick decisions, be decisive to exploit those advantages.
Mavericks had 22 assists in this game. Mavericks only made 39 field goals. In fact, Rockets went 40 of 100 from the field. The Mavericks went 39 of 83 from the field themselves. So the team is not necessarily making a lot of shots in this game, but just enough. Also, the Rockets going what was 28% from three, which was an 8 for 28 clip. Mavericks went 12 of 23, shooting 52%. The big disparity was at the free throw line. I mean, the Rockets went 17 of 22. The Mavericks, Jesse, went to the free throw line 34 times today, making 26 of those free throws. They were the aggressors getting downhill and getting into the paint, and it paid off by their ability to get to the free throw line today.
Yeah, when you spread it out, you're talking about AD now getting the ball at the top of the key. What does that have to do for the defense or the opposing team defense? Your big has to come out now to defend that because you saw in the game he's able to knock down three-pointers from top of the key. So now I have driving lanes. Now Kyrie, now PJ, now Naji. All these guys have driving lanes. I go back to what I said earlier, is that when you get the ball out in transition, you're not having to break a defense down 5-on-5. We're 3-on-3 or 2-on-3, at times. And so we're able to get to the basket much more efficiently. And now when you're getting there, and then when you add AD to the mix and now he's posting up, or you have Gafford posting up and those big physical, strong, post players, now I'm in the chest of that defender. You're not allowed to jump up over me because I'm in your chest. So now you got to either foul me or I get a bucket. I think the Mavericks did a lot of that today with getting into the lane, getting into the cup. And they missed a couple. The Rockets missed a couple too.
Man.
The Rockets missed more than a couple.
They missed a lot of layups today.
23 of 59 on shots in the lane.
Yeah. But again, that goes to show you you're not getting in the lane without having to worry about in the back of your mind, where is AD, where is Gafford, because these guys are coming over to block shots.
18 block shots.
But the Mavs got downhill and got to the basket.
Yeah, those 18 block shots, a team record for this team, getting it done on the defensive end throughout the course of the day, holding the Rockets to 105 points. Let's get to our last couple super chats in this segment before we take our next break here. I believe we left off with, Trend 76 with the $5 super chat. Does Kid hate Jaden Hardy? Why can't he get any play? He's the only one with games similar to Kyrie. Pair Hardy with Christie and Omax and let them play. This is the third straight DNP CD.
I think maybe even fourth. I think third.
Yeah, for Jaden Hardy. So not sure.
Bizarre. Not bizarre.
I mean, Max Christie's in the rotation. Dante Exum is back.
Yeah, I think the point is received by everybody.
Yes.
Yeah.
So Jaden Hardy right now not able to see minutes because other guys are just playing better in front of him. From Jay with the $2 super chat, they wouldn't dare to list Davis as out. LOL.
Maybe. I guess. I mean, we'll see. We'll hopefully hopefully not find out soon if it's bad. Hopefully we never find out if it's bad. But we'll probably find out pretty soon how bad it is.
Let's get to Andre Miller with the $2 super chat. I told y'all about Max Christie. AD will be fine. We hope that AD will be fine, but yeah, Max Christie's a baller. Shout out to the young man because he is out there playing extremely well and doing it in a lot of different ways for this Mavericks team. But yeah, Max Christie, so far, good part of the trade when it comes to the Mavericks and Los Angeles.
Brad Townsend with an important tweet about the order of operations here. He's in the Mavs locker room right now. Says Davis seems to be moving around fine in the locker room. The plan is for him to speak to us after he showers.
Okay.
Better than during. Probably better than before. He was running around. He might smell bad.
Well,
Some
the fact
may
that
wanna
he's
see him in
speaking
the
to them, yeah.
But like, it's very echoey. He probably smells bad. He's
very
sweaty.
echoey.
You know.
Well, the fact that AD is speaking to the media is hopefully a good sign. But we will see, obviously, going forward here. But yes, his debut was spectacular, especially in that first half. Let's take our next break here on the DLLS Mavs post-game show. When we come back, we'll hear from our Mavericks beat writer, Tim Cato, who's reporting live from the American Airlines Center. Plus, later in our show, our national NBA insider, Mark Stein, will be joining us as well as the Mavericks get it done at home over the Houston Rockets and Anthony Davis's debut. All that and more coming up next year on the DLLS Mavs post-game show. But let me talk to you about FOCO. If you want to get fitted in the best sports gear around, you got to check out FOCO. They've got hoodies, shoes, signs, bobbleheads, and everything in between. In fact, I have a pair of Cowboys Crocs that my wife and my daughter got me for Christmas. So shout out to FOCO for helping them get a Christmas gift for your boy here.
You a big Croc guy?
I wasn't, but they're very comfortable,
Yeah?
actually. I wear them around the house. If I'm running a quick errand, I'll put them on real quick.
Nice.
And, yeah, they're pretty comfortable. So, and they just happen to have the Cowboy star on it. So, you know, pain is an existence for me. But it is what it
We're
is.
used to it.
We are used to it. But at least my Crocs feel comfortable as I see the pain on my feet when it comes to the Cowboys in their 30-year drought. Nonetheless, though, if you're going to a basketball game or hockey game, you can show off your team-branded friendship bracelets. Shout out to Sarah.
Shout out,
for
Sarah.
our DLLS friendship bracelets that she got us at Cosm as well.
Like the Shador.
That's right. That's right. Set decorations that FOCO has donated a few awesome pieces for our set as well. So go to FOCO.com, click the link in the description below for all non-presale items, and use the promo code DLLS for 10% off. Shout out to FOCO.
And let me tell you about our good friends over at iceshaker.com. If you use the promo code ALLCITY25, you too can get 25% off one of these great cups right here. Now, this product is made and brought to you by the Grunk Brothers. So you know what that means? This thing's going to be durable. It's not going to break. It's not going to break at all. And for all my workout mavens, here it is right here. You put your protein in there. You put your, put your water, whatever in there. Had this little agitator thing right at the top right here. You put that on there and you shake that thing all about. Doesn't clump up. Doesn't get all messed up for you so you can drink your protein shake after your workout. Not in the workout, that's cool. These things right here, a nice little sippy cup, keeps your product cold for 30 hours. Iceshaker.com. Use our promo code ALLCITY25. Get 25% off. Get a gift for someone, for yourself, whoever.
By the way, Anthony Davis is going to be speaking at his locker inside the Mavericks locker room. He is now occupying the former locker of one lukadoncic. So, for those who are wondering where AD's locker was.
They didn't put him at Maxey's?
No. No.
You think they put Max Christie at Maxey's? It's like almost the same.
Kind of. The
Yeah.
Max for Maxey thing. Yeah.
It's like pretty much the same.
Maybe. I guess it kind of be somewhat of a natural fit. But, yeah, for those who are waiting on Anthony Davis to speak, yes, he is now occupying the locker formerly of Luka Doncic. By the way, real quick, did I see that Austin Reeves dropped a 40 spot for the Lakers today?
Excuse me?
Yeah, apparently he dropped 40 for the Lakers today against the Indiana Pacers as they are playing in Los Angeles today. We'll check that in a little bit. But the Mavericks get it done. I'm sorry, say it again. Oh, he's not okay. Okay.
He's probably going to wait to talk to AD.
Yeah, waiting to talk to Anthony Davis. But the Mavericks get it done 116 to 105. Did I get the score right? Now I'm losing my mind.
One something
16
to something.
to
116, 105.
Yeah, 116, 105.
Yeah.
I remember it right.
Quick note about the defense, KG. I was looking this up while we were talking earlier. So there's a stat called quantified shot quality. I've talked about it a few times on the postgame show. But basically, it just takes a look at all your shots based on who's taking them, how much time is left on the shot clock, where's the closest defender, what kind of shot is it, how contested is it, all that sort of thing. It basically spits out a number that says if the average player took this shot, what should they shoot on this shot? And so it basically is like, the higher the number, the better quality shots you're getting. Houston today had the 8th worst quantified shot quality of a Mavs opponent this season. And a lot of the games where teams have been worse come against really, really, really bad teams. Houston, though, playoff team. So, is a really, really strong defensive performance. And that's with a very frustrating defensive game plan in the fourth quarter. I had it up to here, Kevin.
I mean, dive into that a little bit because obviously with no Anthony Davis for the remainder of the game, Daniel Gafford playing with 4 fouls and obviously trying to ensure that you've got some semblance of a big man on the floor, the Mavericks defensive attack was kind of confusing. It felt like almost if the Rockets, they kind of realized it like how Philadelphia did the other night. Yeah. Hey, we got the biggest dude on the floor. Like, we should probably throw it to that guy all the time. The Rockets at times kind of started figuring it out, but not necessarily effective enough for them to be able to kind of sustain the comeback that they were looking for.
Yeah, they went with 2 bigs. So they had Steven Adams in there and then Alperen Şengün, who's an all-star and is really, really good. Steven Adams was kind of tossing Gafford around all game. He's he's a mountain of a man, right? So it's really tough to move that dude off his spot, and he was giving Gafford the work on the glass for a little bit. And so down the stretch, I'm thinking, okay, if you're already not going to get any rebounds against Adams, then put Gafford on Şengün to keep him out of the restricted area. I mean, he was just backing down Naji. Again, there were times where it was Dinwiddie. There were times where it was Clay. He was just picking whoever was guarding him. He was saying, hey, give me the ball. I got him sealed. And it was dribble, turn, layup. The Rockets went from 7:49 until under 3 minutes left in the game. They had 1 empty possession in about a 5-minute span. And that's only because it was 3 seconds in the key. Yeah. Because both Adams and Şengün had their man sealed. Yeah. They were scoring every single time. Yeah. And it's like, I really, really wanted to see an adjustment. I also get that by just letting Şengün back these guys down, it's taken 10 to 12 seconds and you're only scoring a 2, not a 3. If you're trying to protect a lead, maybe the math plays out. But I don't know, man. I want to see them try something different. And moving forward, if AD is going to miss some games, then you've got to – if teams go big against you, then you got to try something different because that was pretty frustrating.
It's got to be a little bit difficult when Jason Kidd, you'll see a coach sometimes, and he's looking at the game and he's going, we're getting dominated inside. And then you turn and look to your bench and you go, I don't really have nobody else to put in there to help.
No one.
Like I this
especially after my small ball 5 got injured earlier in the game.
Right. So it's like your best bet now is like we gotta just hold on. We have to make sure our offensive possessions aren't empty because if they are, they're gonna come back down here and score again. So we gotta just keep matching point for point because I look down at my bench and I go, it doesn't. I don't have a guy on this defense that's gonna be able to go in there and be at least a speed bump or some sort of deterrent to a guy like Sagan or whoever was in the lane, Embiid or whoever that may be.
And for the Mavericks, losing P.J. Washington, obviously that didn't help in this game either from a defensive standpoint as you got into the fourth quarter. And hopefully for him, he's able to get back as quickly as possible because they are going to need Washington and his versatility. You saw it in the first half, the defense that he was playing as well. It felt like everybody got a block in the first half. At one point, P.J. was doing and playing well on that end of the floor as well. So it's going to be interesting to see for this team what happens and how they manage these injuries. They've had to do it all year long, even with the new acquisitions, obviously, of Anthony Davis. This injury thing, whether it be illness, physical injury itself, it's just been almost comedic at this point, the way that the team has had to deal with all these injuries.
Must be something in the DFW water. The Cowboys went through crazy injuries all this year. Now the Mavericks are dealing with crazy injuries.
Have gone through a myriad of injuries themselves. Like it's been
Rangers.
The Rangers had a difficult this past season with injuries. So it's been quite a bit to go through as far as the 4 major DFW sports teams and their injuries. But at the same time, I really enjoyed watching what was the first half because I said it to Jesse, before the game started. I said, the sting of this trade will continue to linger on for quite some time. But then you look down on the bench and you say, oh, my gosh, that's Anthony Davis down there. And in the first half, you got the entire experience of, oh, this is why he is regarded as arguably the best defensive center in the league. But then you saw the other parts of his game, and it just gives you an idea that, oh, man, if he's on the floor for this team, not just what he does offensively, defensively, but the presence, I think you had used that word too during the game, the presence at which Anthony Davis brings onto the floor, it's infectious to everyone, and you see how that played out based off of the way defensively they were getting after it in the first half.
Absolutely. That is what he's supposed to do. That's why he's here. He's supposed to be a presence in the middle on both ends of the floor, but defensively, first and foremost. And you saw it time. And it just like every time they were trying to back down the lane, it was like, it's like head fake.
Mm-hmm.
No, pass it out. It's like, should I take this shot? No, let's keep dribbling it out. And, so it just that presence alone is what he was supposed to bring. He is bringing that. I think he'll continue to bring in the middle for this Mavericks.
We're waiting to see word on what Anthony Davis will have to say during the post-game press availability that he will have. Jason Kidd, having already spoke to the media after the game as well, he had said that he guesses that AD is all right, but they will see more tomorrow. We will see more when it comes to the injury itself. PJ Washington leaving the game early with the ankle injury for this game for the Mavericks as well.
Quick cope.
Oh, for sure.
Normally, when a guy suffers a really, really bad injury, he does not address the media. They don't make them do that. So either AD suffered a really bad injury but is like, you know what, I'm going to talk about it, or coping, maybe he didn't. But also, I'm just some guy.
You think AD is a shower gel guy or a shower bar soap guy?
Ooh. Tim's in the locker room. We should have him ask.
Because I'm still a bar soap guy.
I'm a bar soap guy.
I'm a bar soap guy. Washcloth?
No.
What?
I knew it.
What does that mean?
I knew it.
What does that mean?
I knew it.
Straight to the source.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
I knew it.
No.
It's soap.
I knew it.
You can get soap dirty.
I
It's
knew it.
soap.
I knew it.
Really not a washcloth?
No.
Bar or gel? I know. Trust me. I know washcloth. I
Thank
know
you.
washcloth. Bar or shower gel?
It depends on the mood I'm in.
Oh, okay. Fancy.
Yeah. I've
All
found a
right.
nice
Good
shower
options.
gel that I really enjoy.
Gotcha.
But normally it's Dial.
Oh, old school.
Yeah, old school.
Okay.
Antibacterial.
Antibacterial. I'm
That's
about to say,
right.
yeah,
You
okay.
see, you feel me.
Okay.
I do dial too.
You okay?
Okay, you redeeming yourself a little bit.
I'm a Dove guy.
Oh, okay.
I'm a Dove guy.
Okay. Wait a minute. Maybe it's green. Oh, you know what? It is Dove. It's green.
You a
with
Zest
the
guy?
Green.
You
with-
old school Zest? Old Spring?
Irish Spring.
Irish Spring, yes, yeah. Irish Spring? Bobby doesn't even know what soap he
clean
uses.
unless you're zestfully clean.
That's your homework assignment, so
Yeah.
let us know what soap you
This
use.
is the one that I use. Yeah, Dove.
Dove. Oh,
Yeah.
Dove. Yeah,
Oh, you're a
yeah.
Dove
That's
guy? Good for you.
Yeah, Dove guy. Yeah,
Good for
yeah.
you.
Not sponsored. So
We did just name a
Dial
bunch of
or
brands.
whatever soap companies out there. Hey, hit us up.
We'll give it a try. We'll give it a whirl.
I forgot what I was going to ask. Wait, Tanner, what's soap?
Tyler in the chat says, "Straight to the source team, rise up.
No,
Let's go.
no,
Let's go.
no. Put your hands down,
Let's
Tanner.
go.
Put your hands down.
No, my guy right here, my guy Rod Wave. Oh no, we missed it. He said, who was it? Lufa Gang.
Oh, okay.
Ah.
Sean Lufa
so
gang. Okay.
I am a two-sided like washcloth. One side has the exfoliating kind of loofah,
Oh,
and the
okay.
other side
Whoa.
is washclothy.
okay.
That sounds delightful.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a two. It's a 2-for-1 jam.
know they
Jimmy
did
jam.
that.
Shout out to you.
Yeah.
We need to get some sponsorships for Jesse when it comes to.
This is a
Soap
guy that's
and-
figured it all out.
No, he has. He has.
I'm very thoughtful in things that people don't really think about.
No, because shout out to you for keeping the dew wipes in the bathroom. Shout out to you.
You know
for
what I
that.
mean?
Yeah,
Keep it right. Yeah, keep
appreciate
it
you.
right.
Let's get to another one of our super chats here in the DLLS Mavs postgame show. That was your soap break sponsored by DLLS Mavs. Let's get to, is that, yes, right there. That is Rarities. Shout out to Rarities. $4.99 super chat. Did you know when the last home game with either Dirk or Luka on the roster was? Yes, that's right. April of 1998, nearly 27 years ago. Shout out to our Mark Stein, who tweeted that out earlier. I believe it was April 14th,
Against the Lakers.
1998. Yes, against the Los Angeles Lakers. The last time there wasn't Dirk Nowitzki or Luka Doncic on the floor in a Mavericks home game. That's absurd.
It was like a 111 to 88, something like that was the final score. I think it was.
Were you there?
No,
Oh.
Did you look it up?
I did.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
I was going to say.
Because you sounded real confident in that score.
Like
I was like, wow.
encyclopedia.
I was like, either you were there
You really
or
do
you
think
cheated.
about stuff that no one ever thinks about.
You cheated and you looked it up. But yeah, shout out to our Mark Stein. Yes, he had that statistic for us earlier in the day. Let's take our next break here on the DLLS Mavs postgame show. We're going to keep the party going as the Mavericks get the 116-105 win over the Houston Rockets. We will hear from our national NBA insider, Mark Stein, our Mavericks beat writer, Tim Cato, as well as they await to hear the words from Anthony Davis after his debut, his strong debut with the Dallas Mavericks. All that and more coming up next year on the DLLS Mavs postgame show.
But first, I want to shout out people that have become a diehard since just yesterday. Shout out David, Tyler, Raheem, Matt, Martin, Kyle, I think that's Nigel, Dalton, Steph, Andrew, John, Michael, Tracy, Ryan, Garrett, Vuk, Alex. Shout out to Ethan, Jonathan, Misty, Nathan, Kirsten, Jacqueline, some blank Nico, Jordan, David, Courtney, William, Michael, Ryan, Mike, Dustin, Justin, Jason, Daniel, Karen, and Letitia. Shout out to every single one of you for becoming diehards. What a diehard is a member of our community here at DLLS Sports. It is a way to go beyond just hanging out and chat, commenting on the stream, subbing to the YouTube channel or whatever. It is a way to financially support what we're doing here and then obviously reaping the bennies in your own right, for example. So right now, if you scan the QR code below or click the link in the description beneath the video, it is $4 a month. When you sign up, you get a free shirt just for signing up, which pays for like 75% of the membership right out of the gate. You get a free shirt. We got more than 30 designs to choose from. You also get a discount on any other stuff you could want, including hoodies, more shirts, mugs, cups, and flags. And with we got some hats on the way as well. You also get to join the DLLS Diehard Discord. If you're into Discord, you can come hang out with us on there. You get to read the entire website, all the premium paid written content by people like Tim Cato, who just walked into the studio. He's been writing a lot about behind-the-scenes stuff going on in the leading up to and in the wake of this trade. Some drama, maybe some dysfunction, some hurt feelings, and a lot more. We got a lot more coverage on the way, not just on Mavs, but also on Cowboys, Rangers, and Stars. You also get a discount on live events. We just had our first live event the other night at Cosm.
Nice.
It was incredible.
Nice.
It was
Awesome
so much
time.
fun.
Yeah.
Got to see the Mavs beat the Celtics. You get a discount on anything like that. You save 20%. We also got more events coming as well, including, I think I can say this, a golf tournament in April if you like golf. I'm not a golfer, but I'll be there cheering you on, I guess. You don't have to be diehard to go, but it does save you money. So if you want to support what we're doing here, hey, appreciate to everyone who has. Now let's get back to the show.
Appreciate the over 1,000 folks watching us live here on the DLLS Mavs postgame show. Please like the video while you're here as well. And you can download our podcast wherever you get your podcast for free. You can listen to the exclusive conversation that I had with Clutch Sports CEO and Anthony Davis's agent, Rich Paul, on there as well.
Good chat.
Had a nice little chat with him prior to today's game yesterday.
Do have Stein. Can I say Stein? Just tweeted.
Okay. Go ahead.
Anthony Davis says he felt, quote, a little spasm with his previous abdomen injury and said it's, quote, nothing serious.
Okay.
So
Okay.
there is that.
I'll take that.
That is good news. We will hear more from our very own Mark Stein a little bit later on in the show. But yes, saying that he, quote, felt a little spasm with his previous abdomen injury. Quote, nothing serious. So that is good to know for the moment. We are joined now live in studio by our Mavericks beat writer, Tim Cato. You can find him on X at Tim_Cato. And Tim, a dramatic day, to say the least, in a number of ways, from the beginning of this afternoon with the lukadoncic trade protest to what was a basketball game, an incredible debut in the first half by Anthony Davis, all leading to a win for this Mavericks team. Kind of just take us through not just post-game, but also kind of the day in and of itself and how all this has kind of played out today.
What have you guys covered already? What did I miss out on?
We've just been talking about the game itself, kind of the mechanics of how things went down as far as Anthony Davis's debut, Max Christie, another strong game for him, but obviously under the the auspices of what has been a different day here in Dallas.
I was prepared that this day might be unexpected, might have unexpected twists and turns and surprises, and I guess it kind of went about like I thought it would. That there was a protest and there was a few hundred people out there, but it was just people upset and wanting to express that there were no boos. I don't think I heard a single boo the entire game. If it had been a loss, if the team had been down big, maybe things would have been differently. But the fan base was good. I was surprised there was nothing, like literally in the entire game, nothing audible that I could hear that was anti the trade or the GM or any of that stuff. Certainly thought that it was surprised there was nothing. But at the same time, one thing I tweeted out, I guess you can call it reporting, but I had heard in the lead up to this that they weren't going to show fans on the Jumbotron. That was it was a weird experience going in there, and you're used to, you're looking at the crowd, you're looking at people at the games, you're looking at reactions. There was even a moment where they had a sponsored, they had something sponsored, and it was like the sponsor's segment of the game, and they put up the title card and they read it out loud. Then it just didn't cut to fans. They left the title card up, and it was the sponsored segment.
Like no kiss cam, no dancing like they normally do.
There was zero live shots of any fan.
Did they put the words of "Levitating" by Dua Lipa on while they were doing the karaoke?
There was
cam?
no DJ. There was no DJ cam because that would have involved panning. There were activities involving fans, but even those, like one of the games that was played was between interns, Mavericks interns. They said, we've got Mavericks interns for this. Another one was, several other ones. The microphone was never presented to the fans to even say their names. So it was a really weird juxtaposition where Dallas is hell-bent on, as they should be, celebrating this great new player who they just brought in. And this player, Anthony Davis, is dominating the game. And the fans and the fan base is nothing but happy for him and nothing but cheering for him. And yet you won't see it. I mean, if you're in the arena, obviously you can look around, you can hear it. It was a little bit strange. It was not quite as strange as maybe when I realized the national anthem wasn't being played. That was a whole nother reporting saga from years ago.
That's from 2020, by the way.
I remember that.
That was a whole different.
Not today, or did they play it today? Was it before? Okay.
Yes, they did. Yes. Yes. Years ago there was a whole saga, but yeah, you take stuff for granted about how a game presentation is going to go, and who knows? This might not be the last game they kind of conduct with these things. Even though I stand by the fact that for the most part the fan base has given them no real reason to feel this way. And they certainly did not tonight, based off everything that happened in the arena, based off all the cheers, based off, there was no reason. This is a fan base that was fully supportive of the team and the players. Can
I add one more thing onto that? Because we got probably a slightly different audience now than was on the pregame show, and certainly a bigger one. I was at the rally or protest, whatever, the gathering of fans outside the arena before the game. And first off, a couple of people that are always in chat came up and said, hey, so shout out to Cam T, shout out to Maverick. There are a few others of you that were out there that, just said you liked the stream. So first off, shout out. But everybody there was pretty cool. I mean, there was a lot of anger. There was a lot of all of that stuff, but none of it ever spilled over into threatening or sort of concerning behavior or anything like that. And everybody was just really appreciative that, at least everyone that talked to me was appreciative that we here kind of giving the fans a voice a little bit and saying, look, this sucks. People are feeling some stuff. We're feeling it with you too. But I know there are a lot of people that are really happy that the basketball happened and that we were kind of able to turn the page a little bit too, And I think that's, in the most, everybody wins, I guess. Everyone that was mad got to say they're mad. Everyone that wants to support the team got to support the team. So it just worked out for everybody,
As far as Anthony Davis's performance was concerned, Tim, obviously he had the viral moment today. He gets the putback dunk, and obviously the crowd is going wild, and he yells, "I'm here!" And obviously the crowd is enveloped in the emotion of seeing this player doing what he was doing. What did you think about the performance and just seeing him on the floor, obviously in a Maverick uniform, but the variety of his game and the full display of that we saw in the entirety of that first half there?
Yeah, he's awesome. He's always been awesome. I don't think, it was easy to just not talk about it because there's so much else to talk about over the past week. But I don't think, at no point has anybody said that Anthony Davis is not awesome. Very, very good basketball player. The defense was, it's weird. I thought that the good and the bad was kind of summed up in this game. Where the third quarter, there's some creation problems, some shot creation problems, and then that spread into the fourth. But the first half was so good it didn't matter. Dallas built a lead that just gave them so much leeway. And obviously down the stretch, like a lot of what was going wrong for Dallas was also just the fact that PJ and then Anthony Davis got injured. But yeah, Anthony Davis is very, very terrifying, two-way player. And I think, I do think the Rockets were a perfect team. Like the Rockets are a great matchup for this version of the Mavericks. But they showed it, and that's what you got to do. And, this team, Dallas still isn't fully healthy either. So, you can point at Fred VanVleet being out, and, certainly that's had an effect on Houston's offense, and it really bogged down and struggled at times. But I thought overall, Anthony Davis looked exactly like the dominant player that, we all knew he was.
Was there any further update when it came to PJ Washington, who left this game with the right ankle sprain?
No.
Okay. So Mavericks, of course, with the win today, 116-105 over the Houston Rockets. Anthony Davis dominant in his debut. As we have our Mavericks beat writer Tim Cato live here in studio with us after today's game, what were other things for you that stood out today, obviously, other than what you saw not only on the floor but throughout the course of the day that fans should know about based off of how this day has gone for this team?
It's just weird. It's a weird feeling. I mean, I'll say this. I mean, I guess I've never really sought out how many Luka jerseys are in the building before, because he plays for the team and he's their most popular. He was their most popular player, so of course, so many Luka jerseys. And I wasn't sure what that was going to mean. Wasn't sure if it was people who still here to, and like I said, it was only cheers. It was a very loud atmosphere. It was one of the louder games this year. But yeah, Dallas is not abandoning Luka, and that was very, very well represented by, just the total. I was counting. I walked like half the concourse to go from just going one place to the other, and I started counting, and I counted 20 plus that I spotted.
Was there at any point in time a sighting of Nico in the building, in a box,
No.
in a seat? Just not at all.
No.
Nowhere.
Do you know if he was there?
Was he there?
He was not visible, even like in the tunnels underneath the. Yeah, he was not visible. The place where the front office usually sits, Nico and Michael Finley, neither of them were there. Matt Riccardi and Andrew Baker were in their typical seats, but it's usually those four. So the two most prominent members of the front office were not there, as we understood was going to be the case leading up to the game.
Okay, that's interesting. We knew there was going to be some different things in terms of the front office and what could possibly be happening today, but obviously confirmed that neither Nico Harrison was not at the game. Not too terribly surprising given the circumstances coming into today's game. Coming up here in just a little bit, we'll be hearing from our national NBA insider Mark Stein, who's live from the American Airlines Center as well. Anthony Davis speaking after the game, saying that he feels like the injury that he suffered is nothing, quote, nothing serious as far as that's concerned. So that's good news that is coming from our very own Mark Stein, again saying Anthony Davis felt, quote, a little spasm with his previous abdomen injury and said it's nothing serious. He had been out since January the 28th with that abdominal injury as he made his return today for the Dallas Mavericks in his dominant debut. So hopefully for him going forward, that will be good for him as far as getting back on the floor as quickly as possible. And the same for PJ Washington as well, because they're going to need him back as the Mavericks unfortunately continue to deal with
you seen who they're playing next? Domantas Sabonis.
Yeah, man. And the new
sure
look
would be sick to have AD out there.
and the new look Sacramento Kings with the addition of Zach LaVine on that squad, him being reunited with DeMar DeRozan. I guess DeMar just can't get away from Zach LaVine as they are back together.
They've lost 6 of their last 8.
Yeah, and they had started off really well under the Doug Christie. Speaking of Christie, the Doug Christie era. I think at one point they had won 6 or 7 straight games. Yeah. Did Sacramento, and then the Bottoms kind of dropped out of it. Of course, they moved on from De'Aaron Fox. That doesn't necessarily, help as far as trying to win games. But at the same time, yeah, this is a tough Kings team. By the way, for those who I see a bunch of Lakers fans.
What did you guys always have that many Lakers fans in your group chat?
We always had one.
BC's always been in there.
BC's always been in the chat.
BC's cool.
But there have been a lot more a lot more Lakers fans as of late.
Hey, respect and welcome.
For sure. By the way, Austin Reeves, 43 points today for the Los Angeles Lakers. He's gone 14 of 26 from the
Lakers finally got their saucy white boy.
That lead is down to 5, though?
Yeah, it is down to 5.
How much time's left?
Yeah, 30 seconds left. Lakers,
Oh, okay, all right, so
Lakers were up big in this game. At one point, I believe they were up by well over 20 points in this game. But yeah, it's 120 to 115 with about 30 seconds left.
No lead is safe. You see Phoenix? What happened with them last night?
Yeah, because Devin Booker had to, Booker,
Grayson Allen made 2 threes.
Yeah.
In the last 4 seconds.
just to save them, and they wound up winning in
There was
overtime.
0.2 seconds left in the game. He had a 3.
Yeah. I think Booker wound up finishing with 47, I believe, for the Phoenix Suns. But yeah, that's an idea of what you may see from the Los Angeles Lakers as far as that score is concerned. Yeah, Austin Reeves with 43 points in that game.
So right now, you are potentially preparing to go an untold number of games without, I think it's pretty safe to assume, PJ, Caleb Martin, you're not seeing them till after the All-Star break, right?
Yeah,
Or is
well,
that-
yeah, Martin is reportedly going to be out the next 2 to 3 weeks. So yeah, that would save him out throughout the All-Star break.
Yeah, and you come back from that, I think, Feb 22 or 21, which is about 2 weeks from now.
Mm-hmm.
PJ, hopefully he'll be back by then. AD, who knows? He got 3 games left, but it's a 3 and 4. Do we really expect him to play all 3? So that's a lot of forwards that are out. That's a lot of forwards that are out.
Yeah.
You still only have Daniel Gafford and Kyler Kelly. I guess your power forward is Naji?
I mean, this team
is that going to
really,
be back to Omax?
Omax couldn't even get
really
on the floor.
This team's really counting down the days until Dwight Powell gets back on the court.
The deadpan.
I'm not. That's not funny. That's true.
I mean, they
No, it's
need
true.
him. Like, their front court is decimated right now. Like, it's not a.
It's
Did you
true.
think that was a joke?
I mean, I can't. Sometimes I
Kind
can't
of.
tell with your face because the look that you're giving me right now is just like,
You were not emoting.
yeah, exactly, not at all. Anthony
They
Davis.
miss Dwight Powell.
It is Dwight Powell. From our very own Mark Stein, as of about 10 minutes ago, Anthony Davis said, quote, he's very confident that he did not suffer a significant setback in his recovery from the injury he sustained while still a Laker. So just a little more perspective on some of that as well when it comes
Maybe
to
they should have got an extra second-round pick in that trade then. Or is that too? Should we? It's time to move on.
What is
Time
this,
to
the
move
Caleb Martin deal? What are you
It's time
talking
to
about?
move on.
So again, more when it comes to that. I was going to take a break, but we've done all of our breaks already.
We've done all the breaks.
We've done all the breaks already.
Any word from Stein? Oh, okay, nice.
Okay,
So
so-
yeah, Stein said he's getting set up 4 minutes ago, so it should be ready to go here momentarily.
Okay.
Tim, you a bar soap guy or a washcloth guy
No, well,
or a body gel guy?
body gel.
You asked the question, Jesse. Take it away.
No,
I don't know.
I like
no.
how he tried to ask the
Yeah,
questions.
no, no,
actually.
we had
Jesse,
a-
you asked the question. You could go and ask it.
we had the conversation earlier because AD was saying he was going to speak after he got out of the shower. And I said, you guys think AD is a bar soap guy or shower gel guy? And so KG already said he's a bar soap guy. Oh, wait, no, he says depending on how
the-
he feels.
Yeah.
Depending on how his mood, he can go either way.
Yeah.
He's found something that he likes.
Yeah.
Bar soap,
Like a body wash.
body wash.
Wow. Okay.
Washcloth.
Yeah.
Washcloth?
Hey, well, there you go.
Why not?
Oh, why we're surprised by that? Why we're actually
I'm
surprised by that?
surprised. I'm surprised.
My bad.
I'm surprised.
so outnumbered.
You are outnumbered, actually.
No, you and Tanner are on the same page.
All right, let's go.
Yeah, you and Tanner
I
are
mean,
on
y'all
the same
still
page.
outnumbered, but
Yeah.
it is what it is. Yeah, we were debating on whether or not washcloth was a thing that you need to be using, and Bobby decided that that's not a thing that he.
I
He
didn't
said straight from
decide.
the source.
But where do you get the friction from? You got to exfoliate your skin. There's got to be
I don't
something.
know what that means. I don't know what that means.
Spoken like a guy who only uses the bar soap.
Bar soap guy.
That's right, exactly. That's definite bar soap energy right there. Only. That's right.
Nah,
Chat, let us know.
You definitely have to feel like that. Like I know in college you would like have the shower setup thing, and it's like shampoo, body wash, face wash, all in the same pump.
Oh yeah.
Like you have the vibe of like
6-1.
like 6-1. Like you have the 6-1 vibe. You don't care about separating anything.
I don't care about any of it.
You don't
man.
care about
I just
any
don't
of that.
care.
You just like listen. Give me six little drops of that right there. I will make this thing work with no washcloth.
KD actually with the not Kevin Durant. Wait a minute, maybe Kevin Durant. What?
Kevin
Show
Durant.
yourself. Are you Kevin Durant or not? But KD in the chat says 5 turnovers, 8 against Boston. This is key. Abso-friggin-lutely.
Why did they just figure it out the last 2 games? This has been a team that had been turning like minimum 13 turnovers a game, it felt like.
Yeah. They've cleaned it up. They've
Yeah.
cleaned it
Why?
up. And I mean, all of those games they were losing by 1 point or 2 points or 3 points. And then you look in the box score and they've committed 17 turnovers for 27 points off turnovers. You're like, oh my, just one fewer mistake and you win. Today, if they would have committed 1 or 2 more mistakes, they probably lose. Like every possession matters so much. And the fact that they were able to generate a lot of good ball movement too and still not turn it over is huge. Huge.
Reeves finished with a career high 45 today for the Lakers.
Yeah, but Max Christie scored 23
And he scored 23
in fewer minutes.
His second career 20
Maybe, I
point
don't know.
plus game for the Dallas Mavericks. Let's go ahead and bring in our national NBA insider. You can always dial up the Stein line at the Stein line, reporting live from the American Airlines Center. He is, of course, Dapper Stein, Mark Stein, joining us here on the DLLS Mavs postgame show. Mark, what's going on?
Hi, guys.
Hi, Mark.
Doing well. An emotional day on a lot of fronts for Mavericks fans who started the day some protesting the trade of lukadoncic outside the American Airlines Center to where we are now, nearly 6 hours later. Anthony Davis, a dominant first half debut, him suffering the injury that left he was not able to come back from, but the Mavericks getting a win still. Just a range of emotions, a lot from today's game. But Anthony Davis just speaking moments ago to the media. What did he have to say?
Well, first, Mike, is that a 4-figure number I see in the live audience?
It is.
It is.
That is beautiful. That is very beautiful. All right, yes, Anthony Davis just addressed the media. The first kind of notable thing that happened was, and Tim's probably already covered this since he's so young and fast, he could race all the way back to the studio. We knew that the old man wouldn't have time to get there in time, so we said, I was going to try to come back, but then I said, I better just do it from here because by the time I walk over there, who knows what time it'll be. Anthony Davis, by contrast, was moving quite well when he first walked in front of us, but we all surely noticed that he's been assigned Luka Doncic's locker, so that was his old Luka Doncic's old locker stall. So that was obviously a bit of a jolt to the system. But Anthony Davis insisted he's, quote, very confident that there was no setback of significance. He described it as a little spasm with the abdomen injury he's been dealing with since he sustained the injury the week of the trade, also in Philadelphia. Decided not to come, did kind of go through shoot-arounds and giving a look at going either of those last 2 games of the Mavs trip, decided that the debut should wait until today at home. I mean, obviously watching it in real time, seeing the replays, it looked a lot more than a spasm. But I have to say, just seeing him walk around the locker room after and not being rushed off to a doctor's office and hearing the confidence with which he expressed that he doesn't think that this is going to be a significant setback, all that has to be a strong source of relief to the Mavericks, because I'm sure everybody watching that thing was thinking the worst.
We were, Mark. I'm not going to lie to you.
Very much so. Thoughts on Davis's debut overall? We mentioned throughout the course of the show the dominant first half that he had, the first quarter, just lighting a fire in this defense and really giving the crowd something to cheer about. And from your vantage point, I could imagine what that was like watching him in his Mavericks debut.
you guys know how spoiled I am. I have a pretty decent seat. I mean, I was in awe. It was, I described it as an all-world, all over the floor start. In that first quarter, he left literally nothing that a basketball player could do on the floor undone. He did every single thing that an NBA player can do, and was just, I mean, he was the rim the Mavericks were defending might as well have been in his pocket. I mean, the Rockets wanted to go nowhere near it. He was just so dominant, passing, shooting, ball handling, defending the rim, rebounding. I mean, he looked Wemby-sized the way he was controlling the rim. It was as loud an opening statement as you could have wished for if you were a Mavericks fan, but more importantly, if you were Nico Harrison. Because what have we been saying over and over and over again? Every time we get together and I see Jesse's basically just this chair, that chair is his now. I'm like, I got to just see if I can check in via eCam. It's like, he's got to be great. He's got to be great, consistently great. And that's why the injury was so scary and so jarring for the team, because the Anthony Davis we saw in the first half, they need that guy frequently and repeatedly, because this team has to win a championship. I don't know, it has to be this season, but in the next one or two, they need to win a championship, and that's the Anthony Davis they need. So, I mean, a lot of encouraging signs, a lot of scary moments, and I think ultimately to hear Anthony Davis, the calmness with which he addressed everything at his locker after the game, I'm going to take that as a positive sign.
Mark, trust me, you don't have to worry about this seat. I don't have enough pair of tube socks to put on to fit the shoes that you will wear to sit in this seat. So this is temporary. This is temporary. I'm just keeping it warm to you. I know you kind of old, so by the time you finally walk back down here, I'll be gone. I'll be long gone. This seat will be open. But not to get off the AD conversation, but just for a smidget, Max Christie, right? Like, will we look back at this in a month's time, 2 months' time, or whatever, and we go, wow, yes, the AD part of this trade was significant and monumental, but this Max Christie guy, he's really fit in and found a role and is really kind of one of those glue pieces for this Maverick basketball team.
Well, look, I think obviously one of the major complaints about the trade was that the Mavericks didn't get near enough in return. So if this is the Max Christie they're getting, and if he only improves from here, I mean, that is a massive development. And look, I can tell you that around the team, like, there already is a lot of chatter and whispering and like, wow, this guy's better than we thought. I mean, you couldn't have asked for a better 3 games out of the gate from him. I think Jason Kidd is openly talking about how well Max Christie is playing. And yeah, I mean, one thing we don't know exactly when we're going to see Caleb Martin. I do think that's a weeks rather than days situation in terms of recovery, but the Mavericks felt confident enough that they're going to see Caleb Martin in the near-term future soon enough that it was worth going ahead with the trade once the Sixers threw in the extra second-round pick. So adding Caleb Martin, a guy who's done it on the playoff stage, adding Max Christie, who is showing a lot of offensive ability and obviously has some extra size and length. I mean, this team is longer and theoretically better equipped on the perimeter to deal with opposing wings than they were before the trade deadline, which we thought that was the real target area going into the trade deadline. That the one thing they've really missed since losing Derek Jones Jr. are some wings with some size who can play defense. And, again, we still have to see Caleb Martin on the floor, but, Christie has given them 3 great games. And again, I mean, AD, we saw peak AD today. I mean, and when you see him at that level, I mean, you know, he is an awesome player who leaves you awestruck in his own ways.
Our national NBA insider Mark Stein joining us live here on the DLLS Mavs podcast, or post-game show, live from the American Airlines Center. Obviously, it has been a tumultuous week for this franchise, a ton of change and turnover with its biggest superstar moving on to Los Angeles. For you, as we move toward within 5-6 hours of when this trade was made a week ago, other reporting from you on what this week has been like for this franchise, for this team, that culminated today with Anthony Davis's debut, that you're willing to share with us here?
Well, look, I mean, it's no question. I mean, it's up there with the most, it's probably something we should do is sit back and try to rank it. But in terms of most tumultuous weeks in franchise history, it's obviously very prominent in the conversation. I mean, I know you guys probably saw I threw out that stat earlier today to really make myself feel old. April 13th, I believe it was, mid-April 1998. I can't remember the exact date now, but mid-April 1998, nearly 27 years ago, was the last time that neither Dirk Nowitzki or Luka was on this roster and the Mavs played a home game. And because I am this old, I was the beat writer for the Dallas Morning News back then. So to think about covering that team where it was in the last season before Nowitzki, that was a 20-62 team that was really trying to, Don Nelson's main objective back then was to kind of help shape Michael Finley as a franchise player, to help him on the path to being an all-star. And there were a lot of, there was a lot of pain and losing in those days. And then I will never forget this day, June 24th, 1998, the Mavericks managed to make draft day trades to acquire Nowitzki and Steve Nash. And it didn't automatically pop from there, but for the next 26 plus years, fans in this town either had Nowitzki or Luka to root for and pin their hopes on. And, again, Anthony Davis talking at his locker today, again, he's really said nothing but the right things since he's become a Maverick, and talked about he understands, this is like a divorce, and there are a lot of layers to a divorce, and divorce is more often than not really, really, really painful. And, these guys acknowledge that there is a lot of pain and anger and suffering in the city because of the way this is all unfolded. I mean, but, these guys know the only way they're going to change that discussion and get us talking about something else is winning, and it's got to be rampant winning, and it's got to be more of the Anthony Davis we saw for 2+ quarters today. I mean, this was peak AD. He was an otherworldly game changer out there until the injury.
26, 16, 7, and 3. The only other Mav to ever do that in a game was Dirk. And AD did it in like 2.5 quarters.
I mean, that's the first quarter you thought, is this guy going for a triple-double before we get to the second quarter? I mean, assists are not normally the category he's going for double digits, but from the first play of the game, I can only imagine the Corellistrator reacting to that.
Well, we were having a party over here, Mark.
We was having a ball.
It was good times.
We
until
were
it
having
wasn't.
a ball. It was pretty special stuff in that first quarter, in that first half. We've detailed it plenty.
Cato has been back there already, but I want to hear some of Cato's corner. Did you see it how I saw it, or what's kind of your takeaway of the day?
Yeah, I mean, it's just weird. It was a weird day. It had weird energy. It didn't get as weird as I thought possibly it could have. And yeah, from the very jump, Anthony Davis was just, everything that you expected him to be. I think you're absolutely right. If this team wins and they win a lot and they win dominantly over the next few weeks, the conversation is going to quiet a little bit. I don't think the fans who were hurt because this team was or was not going to go win because they thought this team was going to be bad. But there's just less room for the fuel to the fire if this team is winning and winning big and winning continuously. And I think they can. I think they probably will. This is a great basketball team. I have some concerns about how viable they are in the playoffs. I have some concerns about a few other aspects. This is stuff now that the trade deadline's finally passed. We can finally start digging deeper into the stuff and talking about what this team is actually on the court. This is a really good basketball team. And, because we're covering basketball, we're going to keep covering this basketball team. But I'm glad we took time to linger and stay with, everything else associated with this deal and with this trade, because I don't think how Dallas does or does not play basketball, how well they play, really should have any effect on the sentiments that, I understood a lot of fans had. At the same time, that home debut almost couldn't have gotten any better. And, the one exception obviously being the late injury, but at least hearing news that Anthony Davis himself considers it minor is definitely a positive.
Yeah, and I want to stress, we do not have any kind of official timetable yet. And so I think we need to temper it's all fine, it's all great. No, I mean, look, it is wonderful to hear Anthony Davis from his own diagnosis say he's very confident it's not a serious setback. And like I said, with my own eyes, watching him move around the locker room after the game, he looked like he was moving normal. But I ain't a doctor, and you can be sure doctors will be examining him and checking that, because any kind of lingering injury, that this team cannot have it. If Anthony Davis has to miss some more time to get him right for the longer term, so be it. I mean, they have 3 more games before the All-Star break. Anthony Davis is obviously scheduled to be an All-Star, but there's a potential rest window coming up here. So coming out of the break, these guys need to be ready to zoom. And it's so deal with this now, deal with whatever has to be dealt with now. But I think you could hear, Jason Kidd postgame did use the word that Tim just used. I mean, he acknowledged that this was a very weird day with all the emotions. I mean, it was impossible not to know what was going on outside the arena, and chapeau to all of you guys, because you guys did a great job covering it. I mean, I got in here a little bit before noon, so I was following it from your guys' coverage of what was happening outside the arena. But you could definitely hear that, Jason Kidd is just looking at, he and his coaches are just like, are we ever going to be healthy? Because they also lost BJ Washington to an injury today. We've I don't know how much you guys have even touched on that, and we still have, I don't have any updates there. We obviously got to do more reporting there. So it's is this team gonna find some health to make the playoff run that they need to make to take heat off the front office? I mean, they're not going to do it without a full complement of players, which again, they just can't seem to muster these days.
Mark, we appreciate your time reporting live from the American Airlines Center. We hope you enjoy the rest of your weekend, celebrating Josh Allen's first ever NFL MVP as a Super Bowl.
Justified. Yes or no?
I called it a sympathy MVP, but
it's
that's just me.
Okay, so it's the equivalent of when they gave Joel Embiid the MVP, when y'all was out here voting for Joel Embiid, or whomever voted for Joel Embiid for MVP. Despite the fact that low-key Jokic probably could have won his third straight MVP, because Lamar definitely could have won his third MVP.
Okay, I'm really trying to respond to this calmly, because I was going to start the segment by saying one thing that our Cowboys team never has to worry about is me trying to go on a Cowboy show, because I am so not qualified to be on there. But the Buffalo Bills, that is the one subject that I think I am somewhat able to speak on. And all I'm going to say is I think the Ravens had 9 Pro Bowlers and the Bills had 2. This was supposed to be a rebuilding season for the Bills. No one thought that they were going to be the second best team in the AFC. So, sympathy vote. That was a Jim Mora voice too. Sympathy vote. All right, I don't want to derail us too much. I'm going to stay in my lane. I'm an NBA.
It's okay. You can go sit right next to Josh Allen and watch Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl tomorrow. Congratulations.
Oh my.
Actually, no. All jokes aside, you guys know where I'm going, right? I mean, tomorrow I got to get myself to Los Angeles.
To go watch the fourth place Los Angeles Lakers, who watched Austin Reeves drop 43 today, a career high for him as the Lakers get another win. Now I think 11-2 in their last 13 games of the Lakers at this point.
I haven't figured out how, but Monday somehow I will be joining the show. Hopefully, fingers crossed, from what they used to call Staples Center.
All right. Well, we'll let you enjoy that. We appreciate your time. We'll talk to you on Monday.
All right, guys, be good.
That's our National Media
Mark.
Insider,
See you,
Mark
Mark.
Stein, going to join us live from the American Airlines Center. As we finish up here and get ready to get out of here on this DLLS Mavs post-game show as the Mavericks win 116-105 over the Houston Rockets for their second straight win to improve to 28-25 on the year. The up-to-date Western Conference standings as of right now, the Mavericks are 8th in the West at 28-25. They are currently what is a game and a half behind the Minnesota Timberwolves for the 6th seed in the West. Your top 6 teams in the West as of right now. And we'll get to the other couple super chats here in just a moment as well. Oklahoma City at number 1, Memphis at number 2, Denver at number 3 at 33-19. The Lakers surging. They are 31-19 after 50 games. They are the number 4 seed in the West. The Rockets, with their loss, they have now lost 6 straight games. So they're now down to the 5 seed at 32-20, and Minnesota at 29-23. The gap between the 6 seed Timberwolves and the 4 seed Lakers is 3 games. So that kind of gives you an idea of the lay of the land. Clippers in the 7 seed, Dallas in the 8 seed, Phoenix at 26-25 in the 9 seed, and the Sacramento Kings are 25-26, currently holding down the number 10 seed. The Mavericks will see the Sacramento Kings on Monday night with our pregame show beginning at 6:45 right here on the DLLS Sports Network. Let's get to a few of our other super chats before we get out of here. Let's go to Charlie D.
No, Vince.
Oh, Vince. I'm sorry. Vince, thank you. I'm sorry. With the 2 super chat. Does the Die Hard perks also work internationally?
Yes, shipping is available internationally, but it is not cheap. So it is that is kind of one of the downsides. For reasons that are well beyond our control, if you've read the news lately, it's pretty expensive to mail stuff these days. But they do work. You can definitely join the Discord and all that stuff.
Let's go to Charlie LD with the $4.99 super chat. I went from being bummed because it shortens our window, but better than the Lakers. Now I'm bummed because the Lakers may be better than us.
No.
I mean, we did just mention that the Lakers have won 11 of their last 13 games, and they got some dude named lukadoncic now on their team. So there you go. From TiVo, is this TiVo with the $2 super chat? Players come and go, but Dwight Powell is eternal.
You're damn right. You're damn right.
That man is inevitable. He is, yes, he is eternal for real. And our last one here, Palace Y with the $4.99 super chat. Rockets don't have 2 starters today and lost to bad teams. Light to the Nets twice the last few days. Don't overanalyze what this game means for all of the future.
I would agree. I think we're just analyzing it. This is not one to jump to conclusions on. No need to overanalyze. I would agree that the Rockets weren't quite the team that, you're used to them being. But, yeah, analyzing is okay.
And that's what we did here on the DLLS Mavs postgame show. Sincere thanks to all of you for joining us here on our show. Special thanks to Jesse Holly of the DLLS Cowboys show for hanging out with us all week long. You can catch Jesse every single day with DLLS Cowboys, hanging out with his buddies Jeffrey Kavanaugh, Clarence Hill, the best beat writer ever in the history of the Cowboys, and Joe Hoyt, the second best Cowboys beat writer of all time. 5 times a week for the DLLS Cowboys show.
Also, shout out to Tim. Shout out to KG. Shout out to Abby. Shout out to Elijah. Shout out to Stein. Shout out to Jesse. Shout out to Tanner. Shout out to GM Ben and everybody that
Shout out
helped
to
us
Bobby.
this week.
Definitely shout out to Bobby Corella.
So much freaking news, so much content, so much reporting, so much analysis, so many interviews, so much stuff throughout what was probably the weirdest, wildest, most unexpected week in the history of Dallas sports. But that's what we're here for. That's what we're here to do. And we are not going to stop. We're never stopping, never stopping.
Shout out the whole team, though.
That's right.
Yeah.
This week has been
Super Bowl down there in
all the guys and gals are down in New Orleans, and just the chat has been crazy with all the information coming in and
yeah.
out and all that stuff. Shout out to everybody.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, if you haven't a chance to check out all the tremendous interviews from Super Bowl week from Jeff Clarence and Joe Hoyt, they talked to a cavalcade of stars in New Orleans, from everyone from Des Bryant to Emmitt Smith to Pat McAfee.
Future star Ashton Jeanty.
Ashton Jeanty. Hell, they talked to Van Lathan. They talked to everyone under the sun down there in New Orleans. So shout out to our Cowboys team for their tremendous work throughout the course of Super Bowl week. We will be back on Monday. We're going to enjoy the Super Bowl ourselves on Sunday. And then on Monday, we'll be back right here at 6:45 p.m. for our DLLS Mavs pregame show as the Mavericks host the Sacramento Kings. They'll be looking for their third straight win, taking on the New Look Kings that includes now Zach LaVine on their squad. So again, 6:45 p.m. right here for our DLLS Mavs pregame show. Thanks to Tanner, as always, for making us look good and sound good. Appreciate you, sir. Also, our nationally made insider, Mark Stein. That is our Mavericks beat writer, Tim Cato. That is Mr. Fourth and Long himself, Jesse Holly. He went all of 77 yards, all the way.
76 plus 1. We
That's
don't
right.
say that number
That's
anymore.
right.
Oh.
That's
We
true.
don't say that number
We
anymore.
can't edit the audio. We literally can't do it. That's our Mavericks analyst, Bobby Corella, best analyst in the game. I'm your host, Kevin Gray. We are DLLS Mavs. Mavericks get it done 116-105 over the Houston Rockets. We'll talk to you on Monday at 6:45 p.m. right here on DLLS Sports. Y'all be good and have a good weekend. We'll
What
talk
about
to
the
you later.
contingencies?
Peace.
We all silly like the mayor.